October 29th. What happened on October 29th? A lot of great things happened on October 29th. You had the Link River Dam. The Link River Dam was built in Oregon, 1921. Bob Ross was born. The German Revolution begins in 1918. Muhammad Ali's first pro fight in 1960 against Tunney Hunsaker on points in 6 rounds. Now, Tunney is going to say that Muhammad Ali was fast, but Ali admitted that he got one in. So Hunsaker got one good punch in. J.S. Risden patents the metal windmill. In 1872, lunar orbiter crashes into the moon. 1966, King Cyrus of Persia conquers Babylon. 539 B.C., Tuv Lo is born. Now's organized first election of the Hawaiian Republic. Textile strikes against lower wages begins in Enschede, Netherlands. Richard Dreyfuss is born. Revolutionary France occupies Venlo. So I'm going to focus on Nate Forrest. In 1877, he's going to get killed. Or no, he's going to get killed. They said of diabetes, but it was the diarrhea. It was the diarrhea that killed him. He had explosive diarrhea. So he's going to die 56 years old, right? So he's 56 years old in 1877. He was a hate-filled dickhole, and he dies at his brother Jesse's house in Memphis, Tennessee. So who is this Nate Forrest? Nathan Bedford Forrest. He's a racist piece of shit. He's the founder of the Klan. He was a Confederate soldier. He's a slave trader, slave owner. Just an absolute terrible, terrible human being. So it's ironic that 1877 is the end of Reconstruction. Is that not ironic? 1877 is when Nathan Bedford Forrest, this big fucking white supremacist, dies. And it's also the time when the United States troops stops occupying the South the same year. So the white racist fucking dies, huh? Nathan Bedford Forrest, yeah, fuck you. Yeah, good fucking riddance, you fucking low-life piece of shit. Fuck you, KKK, and all of your Mickey Mouse KKK affiliates. Fucking low-life pieces of shit, fucking white supremacists. So, Memphis, Tennessee, October 29th, Nathan Forrest, Confederate cavalry officer, died at 7:30 o'clock in the evening, 7:30 p.m. at the residence of his brother Jesse Forrest. He reportedly died from acute complications of diabetes at the Memphis home of his brother Jesse on October 29th, 1877. The cause of death was listed as chronic diarrhea, explosive chronic diarrhea. So he, at the very end, Nathan Bedford Forrest was just shitting all over himself. Just explosive diarrhea, just fucking shitting all over the bed, shitting all over the floor, shitting all over himself and his clothes. Now, diabetes was only half suspected back then, but later on, studies of Forrest symptoms made it increasingly clear that it was diabetes 2, and the diarrhea was likely caused by the nerve damage to the stomach and the intestines. He also had great difficulty walking, which is an indication of peripheral neuropathy. So some people might say, hey, man, you shouldn't, a holiday to celebrate the death of a man. Yeah, in some respects, it took diabetes, right? So that's not really much of a celebration. Just what we let disease get him, this fucking low-life motherfucker. Supposed to feel, bad that Nathan Forrest died of the shits. He probably drunk that shit water, man. No, that's how you get dysentery. But diabetes, he was eating too many Skittles. That means you're not producing insulin, right? So your body isn't producing insulin, and you need that sugar, or you don't need the sugar. Higher blood sugar, lower blood sugar, I forget. Do you need to eat Skittles or not eat Skittles? I don't know. I'm not going to feel bad about, celebrating the death of a fucking low-life, piece of shit, a murderous, fucking psychotic, low-life scoundrel, just an evil, wicked psychopath, one of the most evil motherfuckers in, the history of the entire world. Not only was he on the side of the Confederates, but he also started the KKK. So when Reconstruction began, right, you had all these fucking terrorist motherfuckers that rode around saying they were like the, souls of the dead Confederates or some shit. Just a bunch of reactionary motherfuckers. You guys are in favor of racist, you're a white supremacist fucking society. Fuck you. KKK is going to kill hundreds, if not thousands. I think 2,000 is the official, verdict or the end. But 2,000, probably a lot more. They terrorized so many more. How many more displaced or, had injured? So they're all casualties, right? So hundreds, if not thousands of casualties of the KKK, thousands killed by an organization founded by Nathan Forrest. 2,000, okay? So that's 2,000 Frederick Douglasses. That's 2,000 Chris Rocks. That's 2,000 Dave Chappelle's. 2,000 Fred Hamptons. 2,000 Malcolm X's. 2,000 Kunta Kinte's. 2,000 Booker T. Washington's. 2,000 W.E.B. Du Bois. That's 2,000 Martin Luther King's. And then the Civil War, you had 500,000 Confederate casualties and 900,000 Union casualties. 600,000 were killed total. So that means 600,000 total killed. So Nathan Forrest is responsible for hundreds of thousands of American deaths at the hands of the Confederates, plus the 2,000 black folks that died at the hands of the KKK, and no telling how many he killed in the war. The total, amount, but let's just focus on the Battle of Fort Pillow. They called him Fort Pillow Forrest. Hey, Fort Pillow Forrest. Why? Because of the fucking massacre that happened at Fort Pillow. 300 black folks are going to get killed, and Nathan Forrest was the leading commander in that outfit. We could safely put at least 300 innocents slaughtered right on top of the head of Nathan Forrest. He, that's a fucking serial killing fucking psychopath fighting in defense of an elite 1% slave owning class. He was, not just a slave owner, but a slave trader. A slave trader's worse than slave owners. The slave traders are the ones that, they're worse. They're more violent, more sick, more psychopathic. After the the massacre of Fort Pillow, Nathan Forrest, he sent out a dispatch that read as such: the river was dyed with the blood of the slaughtered for 200 yards. The approximate loss was upward of 500 killed, but few of the officers escaped, and my loss was about 20 killed. It is hoped that these facts will demonstrate to the northern people that Negro soldiers cannot cope with Southerners. That sounds like the words of a bloodthirsty fucking psychopath that just fucking killed a bunch of black folks for fighting for their own freedom, fighting on the Union side, fighting for what? Against states' rights? Is that why they got killed? Bullshit. 300 black folks got killed while they were surrendering, a lot of them while they were surrendering at the massacre of Fort Pillow. That's just a culmination of white supremacy. They see that the war's going on. They see, they could lose the damn war. And so their racism is just, on full display right here. Surviving members of the garrison said that most of their men surrendered and threw down their arms only to be shot or bayoneted by the attackers, who repeatedly shouted, "No quarter, no quarter," meaning no survivors. I think the Irish or the Scottish, they did that to the Scottish people. A letter from one of Forrest's own sergeants, Achilles V. Clark, writing to his sisters on April 14th, reads in part: "Our men were so exasperated by the Yankees' threats of no quarter that they gave but little. The slaughter," this is of Fort Pillow, "the slaughter was awful. Words cannot describe the scene. The poor deluded Negroes would run up to our men, fall on their knees, and with uplifted hands scream for mercy, but they were ordered to defeat and then shot down. The white men fared but little better. The fort turned out to be a great slaughter pen. Human blood stood about in pools, and brains could have been gathered up in any quantity. I with several others tried to stop the butchery, and at one time had partially succeeded, but General Forrest ordered them shot down like dogs, and the carnage continued. Finally, our men became sick of blood, and the firing ceased." The New York Times reported on April 24th, the blacks and their officers were shot down, bayoneted, and put to the sword in cold blood. Out of 400 Negro soldiers, only about 20 survived. At least 300 of them were destroyed after the surrender. This is the statement of the rebel General Chalmers himself to our informant. The same merciless behavior was exhibited by Southern troops after the Battle of the Crater in July 1864, where surrendering black soldiers were shot rather than taken prisoner. It's not hard to imagine, it's the war, Civil War, what? So the Union soldiers, and there was talk about whether the black folks could be the soldiers or not. And then, there's prisoner exchanges, and they were trying to be sort of gentlemen, right? That's what the Old South was about, gallant soldiers, dignified gentlemen. But after this, it's like, what fucking dignified gallantry is this? This is not dignified nor gallant. This is goofus. And so you have the Confederate refusal to treat these troops as traditional prisoners of war infuriated the North and led to the Union's refusal to participate in prisoner exchanges. So not only does, Nathan Forrest